first 5 days, Russian forces, I think, frankly, were too gentle. They've now corrected that. So I would say another 10 days, this should be completely over. But the question is, what is it that Zelenskyy is going to do? The Russians have made it very clear what they want is a neutral Ukraine. This could have ended days ago if he accepted that. And then they can adjust the borders. But the eastern part of Ukraine is firmly in Russian hands. But again, the Russians are not seizing territory. They're destroying Ukrainian forces. That's their focus.
Colonel, it sounds like you don't approve of Zelenskyy's stand.
Oh, I think Zelenskyy is a puppet. And he is putting huge numbers of his own population at unnecessary risk. And quite frankly, most of what comes out of Ukraine is debunked as lies within 24 to 48 hours. The notions of taking and retaking airfields, all of this is nonsense. It hasn't happened.
He's not a hero when he's standing up for himself and his own people? You don't think he's a hero?
No, I do not. I don't see anything heroic about the man. And I think the most heroic thing that he can do right now is to come to terms with reality. Neutralize Ukraine. This is not a bad thing. A neutral Ukraine would be good for us as well as for Russia. It would create the buffer that, frankly, both sides want. But he's, I think, being told to hang on and try to drag this out, which is tragic for the people that have to live through this.
I'm inclined to disagree with you, Colonel, but, we'll see how this works out. Colonel Douglas McGregor, tough guy. Thanks for being with us, sir. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Hello. You've just watched an excellent interview with the charismatic Colonel Douglas McGregor. What a name. I think he used to be in the Trump administration. And he spells it out quite clearly that all Zelenskyy has to do to stop the carnage and the death in the Ukraine is announce Ukraine is to remain a neutral country, not in the Russian sphere or NATO sphere. A neutral country, a free, independent, sovereign nation. That's all he needs to do. But like Colonel Douglas McGregor says, he's not going to do that. He's trying to drag it out for as long as he can in the hope he gets NATO support and drives the Russians back. You see, this is all about Zelenskyy now. It's all about validation and praise. He's drunk on it all now. He loves it the world over. He's portrayed as this big hero, when in reality, he's the one that's prolonging the carnage and the death and the suffering, right? Not Vladimir Putin. It's this guy. You see, Vladimir Putin knows that if he doesn't take the Ukraine, NATO will, and there'll be missiles then facing Russia. He's not going to do that. No self-respecting leader the world over would allow that to happen. Putin's been demonized beyond belief. New Nuremberg war crime trials we need now. God, it's just unbelievable what is being waged against that man literally overnight. And Zelenskyy, you see, like Colonel Douglas McGregor says, he wants to drag it on. He doesn't want to stop it. He hopes NATO is going to come to his aid. He doesn't want to have to concede. He doesn't want to have to admit that all he had to do was just announce it was a neutral country and Russia had nothing to fear, right? But he's not doing that. He's dragging it out. It's all about him now. He's drunk on the validation and the praise. He's now praised the world over, isn't he, as the second coming, right? He literally is like, a Latter-day Saint. He literally is being portrayed as this big hero, when in reality, he's the one that's continuing with the war, which is causing immense death and suffering. He could stop it tomorrow, but this is all about him. He's not going to concede now, right? He's made a big mistake, and he knows he has. The Russian forces, like Colonel Douglas McGregor says, can turn this up overnight. They could flatten wherever they want tomorrow if they need be, right? And they've been too soft, like he says, but that's now, they've corrected that. Now, no one wants any more suffering or bloodshed or death, right? So it's up to Zelenskyy now to announce to the world, to Vladimir Putin, that Russia has nothing to fear. Ukraine will remain a neutral nation, a free, independent, sovereign nation, right? A buffer zone, like Colonel Douglas McGregor says, between Russia and NATO. But he's drunk on the validation and praise. He loves it, doesn't he? He's drunk on it now. He'd be in his high heels and leather skirts soon dancing to Beyonce, right? He's the one that's prolonging, that's the word I was looking for, prolonging the suffering and the death and the misery in the Ukraine, not Vladimir Putin. Let's hope Vladimir Putin gets this over sooner rather than later. Okay, thank you.